Dougie Burt from Doug Burt's Tackle World, bringing you this week's fishing report for around the Gold Coast area. And I think we'll start off offshore fishing. This week's been unfortunately very windy and huge swells, so looking like Sunday's going to be the earliest that we'll get out. Maybe tomorrow if you're a big game, but just be careful not run out tide. But there's really big tides at the moment and huge swells. So I was down the Seaway this morning and actually around lunchtime, and it was quite rough. It was breaking right across the Seaway, sort of every second or third set coming through. So just be careful on the bar if you're going to go out. I think by Sunday it'll be not too bad though. Last Sunday, finally the mackerel will come on. There've been some good catches of Spanish mackerel at the front here on the 18 and 24 fathom reefs. Best ways of catching them were actually either trolling lures first up in the morning and then switching to trolling baits, preferably live yellowtail or garfish, but you've got to get them down deep because the fish are sitting about 20 metres down below the surface, around about 40 metres deep. So troll very slow, around 1 to 2 knots, and drop your lines a fair way back. If you've got a downrigger, that's perfect, but if you don't, I'd probably recommend either trolling just about in and out of neutral over the bait schools and over the schools of mackerel, or perhaps probably running a lead line, which is like a 12-ounce sinker, barrel sinker type setup, in front of your bait, about 2 metres in front of your bait. That'll get it right down in amongst the fish. If you sort of around about 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, they tend to switch to diving down deeper, the fish do, so that's when you get a switch as well. Other than that, there's a few marlin, little black marlin caught around about 60 metres deep off jumping pin on Sunday as well. So just trolling skirter lures around, and they were not the bad sized marlin, around about sort of 30 to 40 kilos, and a couple of wahoo as well. And then in closer last Sunday on around just outside the jumping pin bar, there were some really good catches of Spanish mackerel. Actually, one customer got 3 from 12, so that's not a bad innings, strike-wise. And yeah, they were good fish, and he got most of those trolling deep divers and baits as well later in the day. A few schools of tuna there as well, as skipjack, mac tuna, and a few bonito. So probably with those, I'd be rigging up a casting rod ready to go while you're trolling around. If you see them bust up on the surface, hook your lure out and start spinning in amongst the school. There could be spotties there with them as well, hopefully, but that just depends on what's biting at the time. One thing with off the jumping pin bar is if you look at around about that 20 metre depth mark, which is just behind where the sand at the back of the bar drops down to the deep, you always get dirty water and clean water line there, and they get a lot of little bait fish, little white bait, and that's where the Spanish and the spotties hang around, so just remember that. And out wider this week, there was a couple of blue marlin finally been hooked up again on Sunday and early Monday morning. They've been a bit quiet recently, but there seems to be another lot coming through. And the bottom fishermen, there's a lot of good snapper caught on the 50s northeast, up around that 27, 41 or 42 area on the latitude. And fishing paternoster or soft plastics with about a 1 ounce jig head, and like a 7-inch gulp or something like that. And that's probably about it offshore, but definitely Sunday is the day. Tomorrow looks like it'll be a bit risky. And yeah, get your mackerel gear out and give it a go. Okay, Northern Broadwater. This weekend looks good for Saturday and Sunday fishing the Broadwater. Big tides at the moment, so you're getting a lot of run, so you'd preferably be fishing the low tide at lunchtime or the high tide just in the early morning or late afternoon. This weekend's a really good time for flatties, and I know it's not really flathead season, but they are good at the moment. Been some big flathead in both the basins at the northern end of South Stradbroke Island, casting soft plastics up onto those shallows at high tide on the early morning, and then working the sort of edge of the channels as the tide starts to drop down. Plenty of sand crabs at the moment too up that area. Tipless channels full of crabs at the moment, good sized sandies. Also the back area heading up towards Jake as well. There's been a few bream and a few whiting around the top end of the Broadwater there as well. Best area has been along Kalinga Bank for whiting, around the back side of Kalinga Bank heading up towards Slipping Sands, and also around the original lagoon, which is just near Millionaires Row. Other than that, I'd probably look at going prawning. Maybe the prawns have been really good too. Went up on Monday and it was a fairly windy day, and we just absolutely did we annihilated them. Got around about 15 litres of prawns, good size, and they were in that sort of, they call it Saltworks, which is the backside of Mackerel, on the western side of Mackerel, and Redland Bay Channel over near where the barges come in. Let's look at the broadwater fishing. At the moment, seaway is pretty rough, as I said earlier in another report. The broadwater is probably going to be best fishing up around the council chambers at night time for whiting. Been plenty of whiting out there on this tide. You get high tide around about 7 o'clock at night on Saturday night, and then fish the run out tide. Yabbies, beachworms and bloodworms have been the best baits. Coming down towards the broadwater a bit closer, in front of the boys' school at TSS at night time on that high tide, you might find a future valley chopping around, so get up there just on dark, take some poppers up, and hear the bust ups on the water, cast your poppers in, just working back to the boat, and you get some good trevally. Also, that same area, while you're doing that, you can throw out some crab pots just in front of the boys' school there at TSS. Really good sand crab spot, and high tides just when you do really well. So definitely worth doing that. To come back down towards the seaway, there's been a few whiting around the sandbanks in front of Lotus Creek, and on the northern side of Waybreak, it's not too bad as well, and up towards Crab Island. Again, yabbies and worms are the best baits for the whiting. In the seaway itself, because there's a bit of swell on it, it could stir it up a bit for trevally and also for dewy. So if you get yourself some live baits, probably inshore, because offshore's going to be a bit rough, and fish that on the high tide early in the morning again. When the tide slackens off a bit, that'd be definitely worth a go. Once the tide starts running out, it's all over. The jacks have been really good up till the southerly come in. Unfortunately, jacks are the only fish that like northerly, so I'd probably try maybe up around the Coombe River, anywhere from the Western Highway Bridge around the marina at Gold Coast City Marina, Century Cove, you can get in there, in that area, and then down around Paradise Point would definitely be worth a go. Casting soft plastics along the edge of jetties and trolling deep divers along the edge of the rock walls. Down on the bottom end of the Gold Coast around Tweed Heads and further south, I'd probably recommend fishing on this high tide around about 7 o'clock at night down there with poppers or live baits for trevally and maybe the odd jack around Jack Evans' old Popper's Pearl, or further up towards Tumbalgum. If you want to just try to catch a feed of bream or flatties, try around the bridges at night and off the fishing platforms down around the trawlers. Along the beaches, well, there's a bit of big swell happening at the moment, so probably until it calms off a bit, maybe Sunday and Monday, I would maybe have a fish down towards the bottom end, towards Cabarita, sort of head down towards Brunswick Heads, get away from that southerly swell a little bit down there, hopefully. And just fish for whiting and dark. Okay, we'll get on to freshwater now. I'd probably go up the Hin Stand this weekend. There's been plenty of wind. With the wind comes all the bugs that get blown out of the trees and whatever really makes the bass sort of feed on the surface. So take out your little poppers, your cicada, walkers and surface lures and fish just on dark or first light in the morning on the surface. Great fun, spectacular. They smash your lures and it's very visual, so quite good fun. If you want to do some trolling in the Hin Stand for some bass, I'd probably try up towards the wall or on the western side, heading up towards Natural Archway. And if you're going to go try to catch some tilapia, they're different, they're a noxious fish, but they're great fun to catch. They're beautiful looking fish. Just try any of the little ponds, dams, creeks, anywhere Helensvale down to Robina. There's lots of them, unfortunately, but they're just great fun for the kids to catch. You can catch them with worms and floats, or you can also, they'll take lures, and they'll even take surface lures. So they're great fun to catch, and they grow quite big, around about up to 50 centimetres or 45 centimetres, so that's worth a go. Probably if you want to go to Somerset, the bass have been really good at the moment, and a few red claw as well, heading up towards the power lines on the northern end of the dam. Thank you, that's been Doug Burt from Doug Burt's Tackle World at Labrador on the highway just near Harbour Town. And we'll catch you next week with another report, and in the meantime, good luck and stay safe out in the water. Thank you, bye.